The Dutch artist Rembrandt changed the way people saw light in portraiture. He repeatedly captured a flattering light that was appealing, and he often returned to a familiar pose, a three-quarter turn with soft light through a north-facing window to avoid direct sunlight. There are no distracting elements in the background. The subject is positioned a good 6 feet away from the light source, which is outside the frame. One main feature is that the nose casts a triangle of light on the dark side of the face. Traditional Rembrandt lighting captures a broad light on the more exposed side of the face, whereas light placed directly in front of the face flattens it, and a short light on the opposite side of the face might provide something more dramatic, but generally we're talking about broad light from the side of the face closest to the viewer. Rembrandt painted many portraits throughout his life, and you can see examples again and again from nearly every stage of his life, right into old age. This is a good example of a clear triangle of light on the opposite cheek. You'll see a little bit of light above and below the eyes, but it's the triangle of light below the eye that you're really trying to capture. I'd also try to avoid smiling photos, as they can be cheesy and distracting. Simply try to capture a pleasant portrait without forced smiles. Once you are able to capture a soft Rembrandt light in still photography, even if it's subtle, it's easy to transition that into the motion of a video. Sometimes photography students abandon Rembrandt light once they're shooting video, and the results can be disastrous. This example was shot by a student just before class began. When she showed it to me, all I saw was a silhouette of the subject, Eileen Worth, with really harsh lighting behind her through the blinds. It's really hard to watch someone talk about a subject if the video looks this bad. When I realized she had just shot the clip only 15 minutes before class began, I asked if Eileen was still in her office. We went back to Eileen's office and asked if she could reshoot the interview. The student had said the space was too cramped and that she couldn't find a good space to shoot the video. However, if you try hard enough, you can usually find the best light in a bad situation. Direct light is harsh, and although you might be able to take some interesting artistic images in direct light, portraits traditionally capture more and look better in soft, diffused light. I showed her why the lighting looked bad because Eileen was set up right in front of the blinds of the window, with all of the light streaming in directly behind her. Eileen's chair was right in front of the window, creating harsh backlighting, and the camera was positioned in the back of the room, facing the windows. The better shot would have placed Eileen next to the bookcase on the other side of the room, where the light would be diffused and fall softly on her face. So I had the student simply swap the position of Eileen's chair with the position of the camera on the tripod. The difference in the light is pretty clear. Again, it was shot literally 15 to 30 minutes after the first clip was shot. It's the exact same room with the same person in the same situation. Having the light fall across her face, capturing the Rembrandt light, makes it more flattering for the subject and easier for us as viewers to watch. It would have been even better if she'd been able to keep Eileen further from the background and use a tight field of focus to blur the books. If you compare the two videos side by side, it's clear that the lighting on one is much better than the other, and you can clearly pick up the emotion on Eileen's face. Try to get a three-quarter view with the subject looking back at the lens. Use soft light. Keep the subject away from the background if possible and avoid including the source of the light in the shot. You want to avoid harsh direct light. Try to get a three-quarter view with the subject looking back at the lens. Use soft light. Keep the subject away from the background if possible and avoid including the source of the light in the shot. Try to get the triangle of light on the shadowed side of a softly lit face. If you can capture light like Rembrandt did, your portraits and your interviews will look much better, even if you're shooting on a smartphone.